As we follow this path from Shining Tor to Cat's Tor, I'll give you my tips on keeping comfortable, happy feet, but first a little bit about this hill. The path from Shining Tor is stone flagged all the way down to Cat's Tor, preventing erosion and making for a more enjoyable hiking experience. Whilst easier to navigate when you can see the path itself isn't completely straight, and looks can be deceptive, as the flat, open moorland this path runs through is basically a peat bog. Making our way down, you will see the water channels and pools that feed this bog, either side of the path. In snowy conditions, I could see it would be easy to wander off into the soft, squidgy mess if you couldn't see the path. As I mentioned in my Shining Tor video, during the last ice age, its summit was so high it may have stood above the ice sheet. But that doesn't mean you'll rise above the snowdrifts if you yourself drift off the path. So treat all hills and mountains with respect and consider the conditions and your own capabilities before you set out, and always be prepared to turn back. The mountain isn't going anywhere, so you can always come back another day. Although this wander down to Cat's Tor is on the last leg of a clockwise route, the sights, when they can be seen, first take in Foxlow Edge, then Irwood Hall Ruin and Shining Tor, giving your legs a good workout with a fairly gradual climb of over 400 metres across the 12-kilometre route. I've put a link to the OS Maps route in the description below, which you can follow in the OS Maps mobile app. And on a day like today, you'll be rewarded with amazing 360-degree views of the glorious surrounding hills of the Peak District National Park. Now for happy feet. I'm not a foot expert, but I do know what works for me and my own feet. And if any of these points resonate for you, then I'm happy to have shared my experience. Happy feet need comfortable boots, so I first look for ones that match the type of hiking I will be doing. For me, certainly this year, mainly single-day hikes in the lush, boggy and sometimes gritty Peak District. So at the top of my list for comfortable boots, I need them to be waterproof and have a sturdy, supportive sole. I will then look for a pair that fit both my feet. My feet aren't in the best of shape. There is no standard last that will ever match them. So I know I will have to look to adjust something. But I prefer mid-high boots for the additional ankle support, and I know that if the basic fit is good, I can make some adjustments accordingly as I wear them in. So what adjustments do I make? Well, the socks I wear and what insoles I use are key factors. But I think the most important is to wear the boot in first. Rubbing in the boot can cause problems. This can become worse if your feet get wet or sweaty. Let's call where they occur hotspots, and I feel it is key to understand how to spot the signs and take action to prevent them. I treat areas on my feet which I know rub. For me, this tends to be in between my toes. I do this before I set out and during hikes when needed. I also know that on longer hikes I will need to stop and dry them and change my socks, so I always carry a small towel and spare socks. I consider my feet as my all-terrain wheels. If I damage them, it will slow me down or stop me in my tracks, making my feet and my boots my number one concern. So this is my top tip for happy hiking, and I hope this gives you a few pointers too. But let me know in the comments, what is your top tip? But now, as we're approaching Cat's Tor, let's see if we can find the summit. Unlike Shining Tor, which has a trig point, there are no noticeable features marking the summit of Cat's Tor. There are some references that the summit is marked by a small pile of stones, but unless it's this broken wall, I've not seen them here today. Use that. In the end, we walked all over the summit area to make sure, then used the GPS on the Ethel Ready app to finally bag it. So 3 Ethels today, 25 for the year, and just 70 to go. Another one, 25. We're quarter of the way. So from Cat's Tor, thank you all for watching. Please feel free to follow our progress on this Peak District Challenge. But most of all, I wish you all happy hiking.